Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Josh Rupert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things we're talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. We'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. We'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause the times is the man of truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived.
The man of truth.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived.
The man of truth.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to the man
First
of
Contact
truth.
Radio. We have arrived.
Good morning, Earthlings. Welcome to the new week and a new month. It is December. Can you believe that? The last month of the year has finally arrived. It just has gone by so quickly this year. Certainly seems like it has. So here we are, December 1st, sun sign in Sagittarius, moon sign, Aries. Sun sign is a fire sign, moon sign is a fire sign. So we have double fire, lots of fire. Fire is creativity. Fire helps to purify things. Think of how fire moves. Fire moves, doesn't stay still. It flickers. It brightens. So with the Sagittarius, the idea of bringing forth truthfulness becomes brighter. With the idea of the Emperor, or Aries, it is the Emperor. It shines brighter. It's about order. Organization is the first sign of the zodiac. So the subconscious mind is beginning a new cycle, while the conscious mind is finishing up a cycle. Rather, a couple more months to go yet for that. Okay, let's see what aspects we have to deal with today. 11:30 a.m. the sun and the moon are going to be in a trine, so nice, good, positive energy between Sagittarius and Aries, between that pioneering effort and that expansion of Sagittarius to truthfulness. Later this afternoon, Mars is going to be in a sextile here with Saturn, discipline, finding a way to really be disciplined in how we approach things with our energies. We have a square taking place between Pluto, deep transformation, and Aries shortly after 4 o'clock today. And then unexpected change in Aries. They're occupying the same area in a conjunction a little bit after 5 tonight. Alright, so with Aries, we've got new beginnings, pioneering, leadership. We've got deep transformation taking place at that 4 o'clock hour, so that's a good lesson, something we'll have to deal with, but it will help us move forward on our path. The numerology for today is the number 2. It shows here, but before we get to that 2, actually, 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 4 equals 11. I like to stop at the 11. Some people like to go and add the 1 and 1, 2. We'll look at both ways. 2 is the number of the High Priestess. Let me show you over here. 2 is this position here, the High Priestess, whereas 11 is Justice. In both cases, they both make their way into the heart space. In both cases, they're about balance. Big difference is one is coming from the severity side of things back to the heart, and one is right in balance. Now, the reason I don't reduce further is because when you get numbers that are like the 11 right here, when you get 2 numbers like 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3, they're called master numbers. You usually don't reduce any further. So our numerology today would be an 11, about balance, karmic balance, things like that. Okay. Today, since Aries right here is our sun sign, our moon sign, I thought we'd take a good look at what Aries is about. And Aries. So we're going to take a look at that. Aries is the Emperor. We haven't looked at the Emperor in a little while. Fundamental meaning of this fourth key is reason. The key is called the Emperor, and the Emperor is the one who oversees and controls. This is the basic function of reason, for by it we supervise and control our daily activities. Vision is also attributed to this card and has a close connection with the faculty of reason. When we consider reason as insight or mental vision, physical sight is also meant here, and the orange background is symbolic of the sun, source of the light by means of which we are able to see. The mountain represents the fiery activity of Mars and Aries, which are attributes of this key. Aries is symbolized by the ram's head and shoulders and throne, and Mars by the steel armor with which the Emperor is clad. The 12 points that ornament the helmet are also astrological. The globe is a conventional symbol of dominion. The globe and the cross, like the circle and the taw of the scepter, symbolize the masculine and feminine potencies of this radiant mental energy or life force. The purple flaps over the armor hint at rulership, since purple is the color of royalty. Hebrew letter He, number 4, meanings window, fire sign. Current moon phase, 74% of the way full, making its way to the full moon, which we will be sometime beginning next week. Over here in the sky, just as twilight fades away and night begins, look southwest for Mars. Above it by 10 degrees, about a fist width at arm's length, are Alpha and Beta Capricorni, both 3 magnitude. Alpha, pale yellow-orange, is the one in the upper right with the sharp or well-corrected vision. You can make out that it's double binoculars split it very well and show the other stars, making an interesting asterism with it. Binoculars also resolve more difficult Beta, whose secondary star is both fainter and closer. Okay. My Dreamspell Oracle, 7-tone day, the wave spell of the monkey. We're still in the middle pillar, which is that magical place in between. The phrase for the dream spell date is I channel in order to evolve inspiring synchronicity. I seal the matrix of navigation with the resonant tone of attunement. I am guided by the power of universal water. On the Mayan Zolkin long count, we're at 12 oak, which is right over here. Let's see, here's where we're at. And this 12 okay is, where is it at here? Right here. Okay. So, actually, we're all right here, I believe. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Solar wind, 429.2 kilometers per second. Planetary K index is quiet between a 1 and a 3. Coronal holes says we're going to get hit by some solar wind coming off of these. Might account for the reason why there was chemtrail spraying in Los Angeles the last 48 hours. M-class flare is 50% chance. X-class is 5. Geomagnetic storm activity 25% in the lower latitudes, and the high latitudes up to 30%. And last, over on the Jewish calendar, today is the month of Kislev, day number 9, and our daily thought is business transformation. There is a beast inside. It awaits you for its tikkun. How do you fix up the human beast? First with prayer, then with food, but ultimately by doing business. You need to start with meditation and prayer because the beast inside needs to experience not only wonder, but even love for God. The problem is, in prayer and meditation, you have not yet made that beast on its own ground. Met the beast on its own. Next, eat your breakfast like a human being is meant to eat, a step higher than the food you consume, raising it up rather than letting it pull you down. Then yes, you have met your human beast on its own ground, but not on its own terms. you are still fighting with it against its desire to be pulled down into the food. So then go out into the world and provide goods and services and values, and do that with integrity. No longer are you fighting against the human beast, you are working with it and from within it with all the talents and skills you have, because otherwise you are not providing the value for which others are paying, and that is not integrity. Now you can understand why the very first question asked of that soul when it returns from its mission in this world is not how did you pray or how did you eat, but did you do business with integrity? For that is when you truly fixed up this world. Alright, there you go. Gets us started today. That is our cosmic weather. UFO news is up next, so let's get to it.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
Alright, Dirk, thank you very much. Here we have the first sighting double dome city found on Mars. Okay, here we have our circles. We can see the walls. There's another circular, looks like a wall. This is unique photo in the fact that there's a double dome in it. We have all seen the photos over the decades of possible shapes of space stations on other planets, and some of them were in this shape. The walls have long since been destroyed, but we can still see some of them. The center of the crater has a yin-yang symbol in it. The dark areas are not shadow, they are black structures. Ask yourself, what is here that could cause such a shadow? The inner wall of the dome is mostly gone and could not cause such a shadow to form. Therefore, it was made by the alien culture that inhabited this dome. Okay, there's the yin-yang symbol right there. Very interesting indeed. Here we have on Mars an object. Found the structure in the middle of a crater of Mars. It is infrared, which allows you to see things the human eye cannot. There is a distinct difference between black and white and infrared photography, so it does stand apart easily. There are many smaller structures inside of the craters in the URL photo, but they are much harder to see and must be enlarged. Structure is black, has many right angles to it. Okay. Interesting. Over at Google Earth, captured another UFO. This one over Victorian coast. Many have baffled after seeing an unusual flying object over a road in Australia through Google Earth. Google Earth inadvertently captured a UFO over an isolated highway in Victoria, spotted on November 12th, and its YouTube video slowly gaining more views. Okay, a lot of things captured. There's something else over here. A lot of things get captured when we use Google Earth and the different imaging softwares available and websites. Witness takes UFO photo 35 stories up over Toronto, Canada. Interesting looking one. While cooking dinner 35 stories above the ground in East Toronto, I gazed out the window and I saw what appeared to be the hugest red crescent moon I've ever seen. I took a picture, messaged my brother, and watched it as it started to fade away. The left side still fading first until just a red tip on the north side was visible. It was the last part to fade to black. My apartment faces due west, and due to the height, I can see all the way to the Mississauga. On a clear night like tonight, I could see the clouds, but it definitely wasn't cloud cover blocking the glow. Then I realized the time of night. The moon should be in the east or overhead, not west or hovering in the horizon. The thing was massive. I could see on the other side various apartment buildings and the horizon. It appeared to be more than a kilometer or two wide, and it was a reddish-orange color. A UFO engulfs witness in a beam of light. A Randall, Washington witness reported watching a disc-shaped UFO hovering under 500 feet away that was first noticed when the object projected a light on the ground, according to a testimony from the MUFON Witness Database. The events unfolded beginning about 6:55 p.m. November 25th, when the witness went outside with a flashlight to check a nearby creek level, as there were flood warnings in the area. It was very quiet with the sounds of the creek water coming to me. The witness stated, looking south, I was moving my flashlight from side to side, trying to see the water in the fields more clearly, when suddenly a very bright light from the southwesterly sky was upon me. I could see the colors of my jacket and shirt, and even my own right hand holding the flashlight in front of me. In a field about 1,500 feet away, where the object was below the clouds, hovering in the air, was a round object with the bottom pointing towards me, so it appeared elliptical. The edges of the object were softly rounded, kind of like a thin inner tube, except for the edge of the object. The entire bottom was lit up. It was like being in a huge spotlight. The beam widening around me, narrow when it came from the object. In half a second the beam was shut off, and all I saw was the bottom of the object still lit up, never moved but remained stationary. Half a second later the entire object blinked out, leaving me in darkness except for my flashlight, which was still on. Dazed, I looked around myself in the night. Then I looked north, where the mill lights were reflecting off the bottom of the clouds. 3 to 5 seconds later, beyond the mill and somewhere out, I heard a muffled boom. An extremely brilliant, bright blue light lit up the entire sky from one side of the valley to another. Right? Let's move on from there. This is a compilation of sightings here. So we have, as you can see, this is Iran. Many of these we've seen already. This was from the beginning of the month in Minnesota, Rochester, Paris, France, and Manitoulin Island, Canada. Alright, so check these out. A lot of good sightings there. Here is U.S. Congress in Argentina highlights shocking claims. The 17th International Ufology Congress, held in Capilla del Monte, addressed major concerns about the life on Mars and invisible beings. A city in Argentina located 800 kilometers, or almost 500 miles west of Buenos Aires, the capital del Monte hosted a 4-day gathering that ended Sunday, November 9th. Argentine and foreign UFO researchers gave updates of their work, discussed their personal experiences, and presented audiovisual records of contacts with UFO aliens. Almost 200 people attended the Congress. Congress was organized by Luz Maria Lopez, who told the audience that they fulfilled the goal of demystifying Mars and showed evidence that people may be closer than they think. The Congress featured some shocking revelations, including those from Andrew Basiago and Laura Eisenhower. Basiago, who was in the event, and Eisenhower, who made a presentation through Skype, said they both picked the government on secret missions that involved Mars teleportation. Basiago said on a 2-hour presentation that he was on Mars 40 times and revealed that there are Martian and human lives in there. A woman attendee named Mabel said that the UFO gathering gave her chills. She believes that scientists hid so much from the people, and the UFO subjects could be true, as she has seen UFOs personally. Astronomer and reporter of a television show, Fernando Correa, supports Basiago's story, saying that the red planet has evidence of the existence of humans. He explained that Google Mars application has been showing a human base on Mars. The Mexican astronomer hosted one of the closing talks. He presented security camera videos that apparently show invisible entities and shadows from different parts of the world. Correa said that the so-called paranormal phenomena, which are difficult to explain with science, actually are more normal than the rest in reality. Okay. And Sylvia Simodi of Vision Ovni Center in Victoria, located 124 miles or 200 kilometers from Buenos Aires, made presentations at the conference of analysis done on spaceship fragments, presented local spacecraft stories, and discussed collective UFO sightings all over Argentina. And one last story. This one is a 19th century Japanese folk tale that still inspires UFO believers. In the early 1800s, 2 folk tales circulated around Japan. Both involved a very strange woman emerging emerging from a very strange ship. Her dress and appearance seemed out of this world. What happened? There are two different versions of this story. One was written in 1825 and one in 1844. In both versions, some Japanese sailors happened to notice floating in the ocean a very strange vessel. It was circular, which was not unusual. What caught their attention was that there seemed to have a lid that covered the top of the ship and glass windows. When they got it to shore, out came a very beautiful woman holding a very mysterious box. She wouldn't let anyone touch it. They couldn't ask her about it because she didn't speak their language. All the materials made her ship. Her clothes and her box were completely unknown to them. Eventually, the woman went back into her boat and drifted out to sea again. Well, that's the boring 1844 version. The 1925 version plays out more like a BBC murder mystery. You can tell because the woman is more of a vamp. She has bright red hair and eyebrows and red hair with white extensions, plus the box was bigger. The size of the box provided a crafty local with an important clue, and after consideration, he announced his conclusions. The woman was a foreign princess who had an illicit love affair. The lover had been beheaded, and the princess was put out to sea in a craft. With his head in the box, the villagers, aghast of the hussy in the mist, pushed her and her vessel into the sea again. As short as it is, the myth about the strange-looking vessel made with foreign materials has become an enduring favorite of ufologists. They believe that possibly a flying saucer crashed in the sea and washed up on land. Possibly aliens were trying to blend in by matching our technology, sending flying saucers when all we could fly, and sailing saucers when all we could do was sail. When people argue the sea believes point to the unnatural substances of the woman's clothes and ships, they argue that although people weren't as savvy in those days as we are today, the people in the legend were hardly yokels. They would have recognized most kinds of materials and most kinds of vessels. This utterly foreign being might have been crash-landed or might have been on a scouting ship. It's very interesting indeed. Two different stories about the same sighting. Lots of interesting stories out there, right? All right, UFO news, that is it. I'll be right back and we'll continue on. Stay tuned.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes?
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Let's continue on. Craziness going on out there in the world, huh? Crazy, crazy, crazy. So what do you think is going to happen with this whole Ferguson thing? It's still continuing on. There's more protesters still heading out there. I was reading that the NAACP or one of those organizations was heading out there. And then last night, if you saw the football game, you saw 4 or 5 players from the Rams walk out with their hands up. Now the police department of St. Louis is quite upset by that, so they want a public apology from the NFL. I mean, it's crazy. People are just taking this matter into their own hands, disregarding the fact that there was this grand jury that took place. And it just seems par for the course. Here we are in the United States, and people are just disregarding lots of different things. It's not just about this case. We can look all through life and we can see things that even though one group is saying something has happened, there's another that doesn't want to believe the results. It's kind of like all the conspiracy theories over all the years. How many times those have brought out evidence and information, and yet there are those who too afraid to look at the truth. And when you're afraid to look at the truth, well, unfortunately, bad things end up happening. All right, this week what I'm going to do is, because I'm going to be doing the shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'll be doing the Saturday night show. But Thursday, Friday, no shows. I'm going to be traveling, and I'm going to take off next week as well. But I'll be doing this next show this Saturday and next Saturday, so you can still tune into that. Anyway, what I want to do this week is finish up the Bringers of the Dawn. because we're close to doing that. Rather than jump onto a new subject, I thought let's get to this one here. So we're at chapter 19. There's only a few chapters left to go. Chapter 19, Igniting the Eternal Flame. The planet is looking for balance in the self. The self is a composite of all things. It is a harmonic that balances all of the extraterrestrial selves, multidimensional selves, and male and female selves. You are an incredibly whole beings, which you are beginning to realize. Allow yourself to blossom and come into this completeness. No one hinders you but yourself. If you allow this completion, there are vistas awaiting you that are beyond your imagination. You are discovering that you need your emotional body, and that you need both your femininity and your masculinity. You need all that you have been gifted with in order to survive and to understand what is unfolding on your planet. Please realize the severity of the times that you are living in. As we spend time with you, you in turn will be tested and then taken to teach many others what comes, when the time comes. Through feeling, you can discover much more, for you are seeking to resolve anything and make something whole within yourselves. To show yourself how unwhole you are, you have created a situation of tremendous separation that appears to be outside of yourself. If you look as the drama as it has to do with a powerful man against a powerful woman, which one is going to be the victim? Who is right? Who is wrong? What is the internal drama actually saying? What is the outside mirror that images what is going on inside of you? As you access multidimensionality, you must merge male and female. You will not stop at the separation of fight between men and women that has been going on for thousands of years. Who is creating the separation between men and women? It is the creator gods who have set up this paradigm for you and have instigated these frequencies from other points of view. The separation story served them well because of the havoc it has created. The male vibrations came into power in recent times, some 5,000 years ago. In order to slowly recognize who they were, they completely and totally disassociated themselves from anything that was formerly in power. The matriarchal movement in females. Females operate traditionally through the realms of intuition and feeling. Males have been carriers of intuition and feeling a multitude of times, but in recent separation they did not carry feelings with them. There was a huge schism, and the males and the females on the planet came into great conflict. Why did this occur? It was a setup. It was set up by the creator gods who took over the planet and raided the reality feeding, keeping themselves alive and functioning, and nourishing themselves off emotional turmoil. The planet has been subjected to all kinds of plans and activities orchestrated to create greater and greater turmoil, emotional turmoil. The people involved in these activities, the more potential for emotional turmoil there has been. The creator gods instigated these activities and set you up to work against each other. In order to bust this paradigm, as you all are on assignment to do, you must change many of your separating structures that have been set up. Whatever the separation may be between men and women, black or white, Oriental and Caucasian, you must change it. You came into the planet purposely to insert yourselves as members of the family of light into situations that are archetypal. As we have said, you are doing this so that you can understand the masses and transmute energy from them by being able to transmute it within yourself. Once you are healing or joining, you take it on and heal not only yourselves, but heal the species and the mass psyche. Remove yourselves from your personal drama and realize that it's all symbolic. See yourself as a female entity looking for identity, and notice how a male identity constantly seems to oppose you. You must distort how you can bring these identities together inside of yourself. When this joining occurs inside you, it will automatically proceed outside of you. As you have journeyed upon this planet, part of what you have come to heal is male dominion over the female. You don't need to take what you're doing personally or carry it as a personal burden as if it is just yours. It is not just yours, it is universal. Each of you carries energies to resolve within your collective experience. As members of the family of light, you each have reincarnational goodies and stuff in areas that mostly impersonate you that you find to be stimulating. That is why you are all different. As members of the family of light, you need to branch out or to fan out or to get the hang of being human. You need to cover the full spectrum of experience so that you can comprehend from a cellular level how much needs to be transmuted, how deep the sense of powerlessness runs, and how lost the energy of the goddess is from the consciousness of the species. Remember, you are creatures who have been locked in development by frequency, and your task is to bring human beings into the place where they can be poised to consciously accelerate human evolution. When you are locked in evolution by frequency and DNA manipulation, there is only a certain kind of frequency that can be broadcast. There is fighting with the self, and things seem to be more separated as you become more complete. You do not separate things in such a way. You see that all things are part of the experience. Sometimes you become so lost in the experience of being human that you forget what you are here to do. As members of the family of light, you have come here to transmute for the species. As soon as you get less attached to the dark dramas, you will not feel so caught up and victimized by them. You will understand that this is a collective of energy that you are dealing with. So collectively, if you can come to the realization inside of yourselves, you can broadcast a new vibration for women and men to harmonize with. Every time you feel as if you have made headway, you have. Do not discount the steps you have taken. You discredit yourself when you look at your behavior and judge yourself or others as bad. Look for what you get out of everything. The conflict that is going on here is actually between male and female inside of you. You have not figured out how to merge your male and female parts, and there are millions of others with the same conflict. Be kind and generous to yourself as you build cooperation between your male and female counterparts within yourself. You will be able to find the cooperation to work with one another on the planet, and that cooperation to work with the beings who come from space, who are all yourselves. You all need to become sovereign. As you change, you will have a space around you within which you can operate without feeling obligated to someone else. At the same time, you cannot make demands on someone else without allowing them the same right. You are redefining in many ways the whole concept of relationship and cooperation. Relationship is cooperation. It is agreed cooperation of frequency or frequency modulation blending. Many of your old ways of relating are becoming very irritating because you are discovering a freedom frequency. Your assignment is to pull the freedom frequency onto the planet, of course. You will pull it into your own life and your family relationships first. Ideally, you will learn how to be free while still being involved in an intricate number of relationships, relatings, and relatings of life. Unfortunately, on the planet, relationships connotate ownership. When a man and woman gets married, the woman's father traditionally has the role of giving her away. In other words, a male figure must hand her over. There is an incredible expectancy within relationships about another's behavior. Get clear about what your idea of relationship is, and this will facilitate things in the long run. Just as there is no ownership with parenthood, there is no ownership in a relationship. You relate to one another as you relate energies back and forth. Ideally, there is a communication with all of this relating and relaying. The male vibrations give their powers away just as much as the females. They give it away to a government that says, here, go jeopardize your life. Go take a stand and shoot for us. If your body gets chopped up, we'll take care of you in a hospital and give you a bit of money. What the heck? Go for it. And the males just obey. The chain of obeying and giving the power of the individual away is then complete. You are opening your feeling centers. Men tend to have greater blocks in their feeling centers than women do. Energy in the male has been stuck because it had been moved from the first chakra and the second chakras, then stopped. The feeling center in the male vibration has not been activated. This is part of the experiment that has gone on for the last 4,000 or 5,000 years. The female energy, which feels and brings life into the planet and represents creativity, moved into a submissive state in order for the male vibration to have its opportunity without feeling to run the world. We want you to get the big picture. We are looking at movements of consciousness. The female who carried the magic and the intuitive agreed to give up female meaning, not just female physical beings, but consciousness, who were female. Many of the native cultures that lived on Earth and knew about life were very feminine. Remember, the female literally brings life into the planet, for life comes from the female body. The female therefore carries feelings because you can't bring life into the planet and not feel unless you participate in the patriarchal movement that creates drugs to numb you from feeling. When you can't feel life, you don't value life. When you feel life and participate in the creation and deliverance of life, you value life much more because you know about it. The patriarchal movement over the last 5,000 years has removed itself from the birthing process so that it could carry out its experimentations involving war and continual annihilation of people. The energy was purposely blocked in the male. As we mentioned, the male energy is very stuck. We are not pointing fingers, however. We are saying in general that the energy of the male species on the planet is very stuck in the second chakra within the penis. Females are stuck in your throats because you agreed 4,000 or 5,000 years ago to be silent about the magic and the intuition of what you represent and know as part of the twin flame. The twin flame is the male and the female existing in one body, whether you are physically male or female. The patriarchal society has been run by the male aspect of the self, which you have all been. You have all experimented with consciousness and taught yourselves about what works best, preparing for the time when the flames will be lit together in your body. At this time, the twin flame is not sought as a partner outside of the self, but is understood to be the integration of the male and female selves, and the ripeness of all the self has done. After you have integrated the male and female within yourself and activated your own twin flame, then when you seek a partner, you will seek someone complete, not someone to fill the need that you have not acknowledged or that you has not fulfilled within yourself. During the time of change, women are going to need to open their throats and give themselves permission to speak out. Now is the time. And men, your challenge is to understand women and other men is to feel and to let feelings enter their expression of sexuality in the relationships. Many men now are having very difficult time with women. Women are driving men crazy. It is true. We are suggesting that for the male vibration and also for the female who operates in the male aspect of herself, is that you move into feeling in your sharing of sexuality, move into the emotionality of things rather than just a sexuality and stimulation of the body. There's an emotional stimulation that needs emotional commitment and emotional trust. Electromagnetically, this emotional stimulation will open a frequency within you. This frequency that sexuality represents is a reminder of your godhood. The male shut down his feeling center in order to experience stewardship on this planet. He was able to carry on war and to kill and to dominate the planet because he had shut down his feeling center. The female agreed to have her speaking center shut down so that the male would have the opportunity to experience being in charge of this system. All of this now coming to a point of stabilization or equalization, the female began to operate her throat about 30 years ago, making the opportunity to speak fashionable. The problem is that many females ended up shutting down their feelings centers as they opened their speech centers. They began to become very much like males. A balance is needed. Now the female is finding the need to awaken the feminine principle inside of herself. She is in a female body and has mastered the use of the male vibration within herself. She has gone out into the world and she feels powerful. She can walk the streets without a veil on her face. She can decide whether she wants to be married. She is her own property. She is responsible in this country for her own decisions. She is beginning to soften and to awaken the portion of herself that nurtures and brings her life. As she makes herself whole with her male and female portions and allows herself to experience the evolved DNA, she broadcasts this frequency. Thus, frequency will become very prevalent upon the planet. It is inevitable that men will open the feeling centers. This is the next step men must go through to establish balance with the female. This will happen very quickly for men. It will not be a 30-year process because men at this time are moving as a populace into confusion. Men are realizing that they don't like what is occurring and they are questioning authority. At some point the frequencies will become predominant. Then, for example, a person may be experimenting on an animal in a laboratory when their feeling center is suddenly erratically opened. The person feels the pain that the animal is feeling, and what they have been doing becomes abhorrent. They turn around and walk away from the laboratory and never go back because they are so shaken by what is coming. This is what is coming for the male vibration. We have said that the male vibration will transform a very short period of time. We will not tell you why or how, because some of you will consider it entirely too ominous. However, we will say that as the waves continue to come, there will be an unilateral rising of consciousness within the population. At a certain point, when the men are in the deepest struggle of mastering feeling, the feeling center will be activated. This will either occur gently, or it will be blown wide open. Women at the same time will be hit, infused, and enveloped with the opening of the heart chakra so that they can have compassion while they watch their men feel. We are speaking of mass events that will trigger people through waves of light. Female energy, that which feels to connect and connects life to life, is being awakened in everyone. Women just redefine their ideas of the femaleness and strength. They must find what it is to be strong as females, just as men must discover what it is to be vulnerable as males. What is the endearing aspect of the male when he is vulnerable? What is the endearing aspect of the female when she is in self-empowerment and when she is a feminine version of empowerment and not a masculine version? Women have had a hard shell around their energy fields and they have been protecting themselves. Now they are going to develop true emotional strength. That hard outer shell will diffuse and the light body will radiate from the heart. The goddess and the gods are agreeing and working with this energy. It is so decreed that this is how the drama will unfold. The old stories have been burned down and covered and recount the magic of the female, the creator, the one able to bring birth, the one holding the mystery of the blood, the life force, and the one able to put that life force back into the earth. Or the stories of the goddess, she who loves and feels and nurtures. The male species used to have goddess energy inside and felt the need for the goddess. In order to better control the planet during the last several thousand years, all of the myths have been given to you by extraterrestrials. They have seeded all of your religious institutions. We have said that this is an experiment. At times the experiment has been uplifting and loving, but in recent times it has moved into an incredible decay. You as members of the family of light have come to raid this planet and pull the light back so that the nonsense of separation and the war need not be believed again. Man and women are meant to complement each other, not oppose each other. Remember, feeling is emotion. Emotion is the key to getting off this planet. It is the key to figuring out the multidimensional self, healing it, and becoming one. And is also the key to lovingly activating Earth as a living library, returning a valuable area of existence from extinction. With men and patriarchal society in charge of this planet for the last several thousand years, and women taking a position underground, not even in the back seat, separation has been the theme, and emotion has been pushed aside, given a bad name, and frowned upon. This has been as autonomous, performing roles that were given to you to keep you separated. You do not have a pantheon of powerful female creator images. You have nothing on which to pattern a positive and empowered feminine. So you are striving to be male, and women are striving to be empowered through male vibrations because you do not have a clear vision of the empowered female. You must create it. Begin to recognize the wealth of energy in the female version of self, which is intuition, receptivity, creativity, compassion, and nourishment. You are discovering that there is a wealth of identity in the essence that has been discredited for a long time. If you are a female, of course, you are a living form of that essence. Men must discover the form of the goddess within themselves, where the goddess meets the god in them. By the same token, the view of the masculine is distorted. We do not have an example of an empowered feeling male. Society has deemed feeling male soft and lacking in masculinity. Men are beginning to look at this emotions and say, hey, I feel this, and I know that they are still men. So men and women are both creating role models for empowered, integrated versions of masculine and feminine. These models are coming, and they are coming quickly. The time for separation is finished. As we mentioned, it is not outside of yourself that you are looking for a twin flame partner. You're looking for integration of the female and the male essence within yourself. They make one whole. Whole people are looking to connect with other whole people in relationships that are based on trust, desire, and choice. The relationships are not based on I need you in my life to complete and to validate me. You become complete in yourself and operate within someone else who is complete in themselves and offers a whole new territory to explore. When you marry the twin flame inside of yourself, you recognize the initiative, intuitive goddess, life-bringing essence, sensitive portion of yourself, as well as the portion of yourself that is powerful, rational, and intellectual, and the very one that is very much in the earth plane and one is very much in the spiritual plane. When you merge these energies together in yourself, it would be imperative to find someone who has the same qualities. You will not fit with someone who has not integrated the whole. You'll automatically draw whole people to yourself, and it will be effortless. You will be able to plug into one another out of the desire and the recognition, not out of need. You will achieve something that you never recognized as a possibility in any relationship before, and you will give relationship a very new personality, a new boundary, and a new definition. You will become your own role models, for this is the type of relationship. Many of you find that the marriage intuition institution is meaningless. It will not fit and house what you know and how you want to live. All of you are on this path of integrating the polarities within yourselves. Difficult issues are going to come up, lip over and over again. Welcome the difficult time for the years, for they can be your greatest teachers. Stay focused on your own growth and your path and your own self, and not on what others are doing. Call on your own internal masculine and feminine and set up a dialogue between them so that you begin to work in partnership and harmony. Give yourself a lot of love and encouragement. Make an appointment with yourself and say, I love you. You are a wonderful self. You are a number one, the best self. When you give yourself the dignity of your own love, as if you are a royalty receiving the accolades of the people, everything changes. Strength and integration becomes yours. You believe in and love who you are. When you believe in and love yourself, everything starts to go your way. The most difficult thing for most of you is making the commitment to believe you deserve love. No one else has to love you. You are not here to go around gathering love from other people to convince yourself that you are worth it. You are here to master a very difficult task in a system that is dark and gives very little input, stimulation, or information about the true story. You are here to do the impossible by committing love to yourself and making the commitment to the number one step from which you operate every day. Everything falls in place. You become a whole and complete. Then you are ready for a bonded relationship with another who is complete, and that relationship can take you into unexplored realms. All right, very good. Chapter 19, Bringers of the Dawn. A few more to go. Tomorrow we'll hit the next chapter, chapter 20. All right, here's an article over at In5D. This is by Michelle Walling. It is called Who is Guiding You? Jinns, genies, ascended masters, spirit guides, angels, and archangels are waiting to assist you when you ask for help. The question is, which ones will assist you based on your resonance of vibration? Magic stimulates the inner child. Two of my favorite television shows growing up were I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched. Something sparked a memory of remembrance of the ability to manifest something out of nothing, or to be able to disappear from one place and reappear in another. Magic has always kept my inner child excited and curious about the possibility of having anything you want or need in the blink of an eye. It would be nice to have a genie or a witch or as a wife or be able to call upon when you need help. However, the premise from both TV shows was that Jeannie and Samantha innocently caused trouble and were always trying to undo what they had created. Major Nelson and Darren were always trying to lessen the need for help in order to live life as a mortal human without the need for magical favors. Humanity is now at the same playing field as we realize who we are. We are not just merely mortal humans helplessly stumbling through this lifetime. Many of us have realized our own capabilities to manifest and have called on them from the realms beyond the veil for assistance when we find ourselves in need of assistance. This planet has vibrated a very low frequency for a long time. We've had many lifetimes in this frequency, caught in a circle of reoccurring time. The cycle was broken in 2012 when we reached finding our way out of the darkness. Jinns, genies, tricksters live in the astral realm, which is part of the lower levels of the fourth dimension. There are those beings of the false light that pose as archangels, angels, and ascended masters awaiting to connect you at your request. They aim to steal your inner light. They are beings of low vibrational level that like to serve by being available to you when you are desperately calling out for help from a place of victimization or weakness. Through the universal law of vibrational attainment, like attracts like on a vibrational level. The choice is available for every moment to move past emotions and thoughts of fear. For those of us who choose to move forward into fifth dimensional frequency, the lifetime was the one that would transmute the karma from dark ages of war, patriarchy, dominion and control, and suffering. Examples of fear and anger, hate, jealousy, insecurity, and helplessness. Ironically, the ego's job is to work with you to show you these states of low vibration so you can realize how it makes you feel. Many people will move through the dark night of the soul in order to face their fears once and for all. Okay, it's a longer article here. Let me get to the end. We can call upon that part of ourselves that already exists in the higher realms of space and time to join us here on Earth at this very important time. As we raise our frequency, we no longer will be within the reach of the lower astral forms that wish to steal our light and keep us disconnected. We are one true light, and the knowledge and the recognition of this is the biggest secret of all time. Okay. Now, if you notice, there was something similar in both of these, in not only the book but this article, and it had to do with raising one's vibration. So, very, very important to raise one's vibration, because then it raises us out of the place of where we could be in trouble into the place where we can do well by ourselves and others. All right, here's our channeled message for today. It comes to us from Hilarion.
Hilarion.
November 30th through December 7th, 2014, by Marlene Swetleshoff.
Hilarion.
Beloved ones, these are difficult times, as you continue to let go of all that you once held dear. Many of your expectations of what your lives should have been are now scattered to the winds of change. Everywhere you gaze, there is a choice to be made: love or fear. Choosing love opens your heart to the pain of letting go of your dearest and deepest dreams and expanding into the unknown. This is a new frontier of consciousness, and you are the carriers of the new dream. Yet you hold on to those whom you love and cannot allow dissolution of the bonds that have held you. And this is as it was meant to be, for what is love without commitment, without loyalty, honesty and honor? Your strong integrity cannot allow you to leave these ones behind, and you make repeated efforts to awaken them. This you do from the higher dimensions where the higher consciousness of all prevails. We say to you, follow your heart always and temper it with the inner wisdom of the sage within you. The bonds of love do not need to be broken in order that you fulfill your mission, for it is the bonds of love that make everything you have endured worthwhile. Let your hearts be filled with the healing power of this mighty force. Do not fear to love. See the beauty within every person who is within the sphere of your influence and send them your blessings and benediction. Let the power of love shape your new identity as you walk lightly but mightily upon your world. Fill the space you occupy with more of your true divine essence and let it become a healing balm to those who need it. You may meet their resistance and their challenges with peace, acceptance and calm, fluidly adapting to the needs of the hour. Do not take anything personally and try to see the higher perspective. Everyone is struggling with something during these times, and they must find the strength and the clarity within them in order to move forward on their path. Hold the space of the highest outcome and the highest good for all. Every thought, word and deed that you make from this point forward creates a new reality, and so it behooves each individual to purge the last dregs of old baggage from the past and to replace it with hope, faith and trust in the highest outcome for everyone. For ones such as you know that each person has to make happiness happen, for it is an individual state of being, of mind, and is equally available to all. It all depends upon the thoughts you keep, and this is the power that you wield during these times. Discipline of mind is of utmost importance, for mind is the builder, mind is the creator of a new way of expression upon your planet. Align with your higher mental body at the start of each new day by stating the intention to do so, and be steadfast in your resolve. Let your love for each other prevail and quickly dismiss any thoughts that come to the surface that are less than love. By following the middle way you are arriving at your destination, and it is one that includes diversity and respect for everyone. Perfection is not expected nor demanded, only that each individual tries to the best of their ability to transcend their previous limitations in order to open themselves to their limitless potential. There is not just one path to Creator, there is an infinite potential of them, and each one is right for the one who is on it. Holding to your feelings and convictions of this will help create the reality which sustains and maintains this approach and paves the way for those who follow. Be impeccable in all things and in all situations. Do not give away your personal power in order that others feel powerful instead. It is oftentimes not an easy task to stay true to yourselves, but ultimately it is the right and good thing to do. Blaze the trail before you with your shining light and goodness, and let your choice be for love. Until next week. I am Hilarion.
Alright, very good message from Hilarion. Appreciate the weekly messages. And that brings us to our meditation for today. So go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. I want you to imagine yourself looking in the mirror. And as you look into the mirror, you see yourself. And you look deeper into yourself, and you see an aspect of yourself that is masculine, and you see an aspect of yourself that is feminine. And you look at these two energies, these two aspects of yourself, and you take notice of whether or not these aspects are working together or working against each other. And so as you look, you see the need for the masculine and feminine within you to work together. So you just imagine peace and harmony between these two aspects of yourself. You call forth the love of both parts of yourself to merge into unity, so that the male and the female of who you are becomes whole. And as you feel the merging together of the masculine and the feminine within you, you find that as you walk through life, life responds to you in a different way because you are connected in a different way. And as you go through the world, just imagine sending out love and positivity from this place of complete balance and connection. So let's just imagine sending love all around the planet, to all of the countries around the planet. Let's send love and healing to all of those who are going through painful situations today, that they may be able to rise above the pain. Now, let our subconscious mind continue on the journey, sending out light and love, and let's bring our conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale, and open your eyes. And that is it, my friends. That is our show for today. We have an affirmation. I feel full of energy to accomplish my dreams. So as we go into the world, let's accomplish our dreams. Let us use the energy that is available to us. So that's it for the show today, my friends. I'll be back tomorrow. Till then, have an awesome day. I love you. Keep loving each other, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.